Kim. So this is chapter 5 of the Robert Hur Joe Biden Classified Documents report. Last week, I did go through the entire transcript with the audio, thanks to Axios, because they at least put it out there. We should have already had this probably even before the election and everything else, but you know how it is. They hide everything till the last minute, so then you don't have a choice but to vote for who you think. But if we would have known certain things, I don't think Joe would have gotten in there in 2020. But hey, whatever. Joe, or what's his name? Hunter's laptop. So we'll just leave it at that. But anyway, let's go on. It says chapter 5, Mr. Biden's second book, Promise Me Dad, and the discovery of classified Afghanistan documents. Like many presidents, Mr. Biden has long viewed himself as a historic figure. Elected to the Senate at age 29, he considered running for president as early as 1980 and did so in 88, 2000, and 2008 and 2020. During his 36 years in the Senate, Mr. Biden believes he had built a record in both domestic and foreign affairs that made him worthy of the presidency. In addition to the notebooks and note cards on which he took notes, throughout his vice presidency, Mr. Biden collected papers and artifacts related to noteworthy issues and events in his public life. He used these materials to write memoirs published in 2007 and 2017, to document his legacy and to cite as evidence that he was a man of presidential timber. For example, as a young senator in the 1970s, Mr. Biden led several congressional delegations to Europe and the Soviet Union, as explained in Chapter 8. He viewed these trips as historic and believed they prepared him to be president. Mr. Biden wrote about these trips in this 2007 memoir, Promises to Keep. In 2023, FBI agents recovered official documents, including marked classified documents related to these trips in Mr. Biden's Delaware garage. In 2009, while serving as vice president, Mr. Biden strongly opposed the military's plan to send tens of thousands of additional troops to Afghanistan. Mr. Biden endured sharp criticism both during the debate and after President Obama rejected his advice and decided to send additional troops to Afghanistan. But Mr. Biden always believed he was right and that he would be vindicated by history. He kept documents related to the debated troop surge, including a classified handwritten memo he sent President Obama in 2009 opposing the surge, and marked classified documents supporting his position. In December of 2022 and January 2023, FBI agents recovered these materials from Mr. Biden's Delaware garage and office. Finally, as explained in Chapter 4, during his 8 years as vice president, Mr. Biden regularly wrote notes by hand in notebooks. One such notebook entry makes clear that Mr. Biden had long contemplated writing a book about his vice presidency. In July 2010, he documented a meeting to discuss a possible book about my VP years. In Mr. Biden's view, there were 3 plausible reasons for having one written or writing one. Defense, others will write and I want to record or a record. Future, who knows about 2016, and then profit, retirement. One function of Mr. Biden's notebooks was to provide raw material for his eventual second memoir. After leaving office, Mr. Biden kept his notebooks at his homes in Virginia and Delaware and used them to write that book, Promise Me Dad. In January 2023, FBI agents recovered these notebooks primarily at Mr. Biden's home office in Den. Mr. Biden's 2017 memoir, Promise Me Dad. After his presidency, Mr. Biden wrote and published a memoir in 2017 titled Promise Me Dad. Evidence suggests that while researching and writing the book, Mr. Biden found marked classified documents in the basement of his rental home in Virginia and told his ghostwriter about it during an audio recorded conversation. And while the published book is not known to contain classified information While writing the book in unsecure locations, Mr. Biden used notebooks containing notes he took during his vice presidency about classified meetings and information. A. Promise Me, Dad. Unlike Mr. Biden's earlier idea for a book that would chronicle all 8 years of his vice presidency, Promise Me, Dad has a narrower focus. The book recounts a 14-month period of Mr. Biden's vice presidency from Thanksgiving 2014 to January 2016, during which he dealt with the illness and eventual death of his elder son, Beau, who died in May of 2015. The book discusses the toll that loss took on Mr. Biden, the foreign policy issues in Ukraine, Central America, and Iraq he addressed during that time, and the role his son's death played in Mr. Biden's decision not to run for president in 2016. Published in November 2017, Promise Me, Dad quickly became a #1 New York Times bestseller. One is Mark Zwanitzer. Mr. Biden worked with the ghostwriter Mark Zwanitzer to write Promise Me, Dad. Zwanitzer is an author and documentary filmmaker specializing in American history and politics. He had previously ghostwritten Mr. Biden's 2007 memoir, Promises to Keep. Zwanitzer has never held a security clearance or become familiar with the restrictions on the handling of classified material. Mr. Biden knew this. In 2011, he proposed hiring Zwanitzer as an official historian for the office of the vice president. At Mr. Biden's request, counsel to the vice president, Hogan, prepared a memorandum assessing the proposal and any issues that could arise. The memorandum noted that if hired, Zwanitzer will likely need a security clearance, and that any discussions that cover classified topics would have to occur in a secure facility like your West Wing office. The memo explained that any notes or other material that contain classified information must be maintained in secure safes, produced on classified computer, and stored in a secure facility. Mr. Biden did not go through with the proposal. 2. Book planning and research. In late 2015, shortly after his son's death, Mr. Biden began planning to write a memoir that drew upon his time as vice president. He met with Zwanitzer and other aides to discuss book ideas and logistics. They also solicited input from editors and publishers. During these early meetings in late 2015 and early 2016, Mr. Biden and Zwanitzer decided to focus the book on a small window in time, during which Mr. Biden balanced his responsibility as vice president with his family responsibilities during and in the wake of his son's illness and death. From approximately April 2016 to February 2017, Mr. Biden worked with Zwanitzer to outline the book and draft a proposal to submit to publishers. Zwanitzer compiled a chronology of Mr. Biden's day-to-day activities in late 2015 and early 2016 using Mr. Biden's daily schedules and calendars from his time as vice president. Mr. Biden's staffers gathered the schedules for Zwanitzer. The writing process. Zwanitzer interviewed Mr. Biden more than a dozen times while researching and writing Promise Me, Dad. During the interviews, Mr. Biden recounted the events of 2015, including the challenges of dealing with profound personal tragedy while fulfilling his duties as vice president. Zwanitzer also interviewed Mr. Biden's family members and former staffers. Zwanitzer audio recorded the interviews, then transcribed the recordings for use. That's hurting my nose. For use in writing Promise Me, Dad. The interviews began in the spring of 2016 and continued to the summer of 2017. Zwanitzer interviewed Mr. Biden several times at the Naval Observatory in 2016 while Mr. Biden was still serving as vice president. After Mr. Biden left office, he met with Zwanitzer at his rental home in Virginia. During the summer of 2017, Zwanitzer and Mr. Biden worked together to finalize a transcript of Mr. Biden's beach home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. B. Mr. Biden used his notebooks in writing Promise Me Dad. In writing Promise Me Dad, Mr. Biden relied extensively on the notebooks containing notes he took during his vice presidency. Mr. Biden referred to and read from his notebooks during his interviews with Swanitzer. According to Swanitzer, the notebooks made the book possible by providing the emotional arc of the story. One of the primary sources of material for Promise Me Dad was Mr. Biden's daily notebook for August 2014 through September 2016. This notebook contained notes of meetings Mr. Biden attended, as well as entries about his other activities during this period. Many of the meetings related to foreign policy and classified information, including the president's daily brief, National Security Council meetings, and other briefings. Some of these entries remain classified up to the secret level. The notebook also contained notes on matters other than foreign policy, including Mr. Biden's private lunches with President Obama and meetings with advisors to discuss whether to run for president in 2016. Some of the entries were highly personal, most notably entries reflecting on his son's illness and death. While this notebook provided much of the framework for Promise Me Dad, Mr. Biden also used other notebooks in writing the book. Mr. Biden used and referred to a notebook labeled Foreign Policy 11 2013 through 2014. This notebook also contained his notes on the president's daily brief, National Security Council and other Situation Room meetings, and other foreign policy briefings. As explained below, at one point, Mr. Biden told Schwanitzer that some of the information in the notebook may be classified. Some of these entries remain classified up to the top secret level. Mr. Biden also referred to a notebook labeled Foreign Policy, which contained similar notes on classified briefings. Some of these entries remain classified up to the secret level. Finally, Mr. Biden also used a notebook labeled Obama Biden 7/15/13 through 10/10/16. It contained mainly notes on meetings with political advisors, and upon preliminary inspection, it does not appear to contain classified information. Mr. Biden referred to and read from his notebooks during his interviews with Swanitzer. During many of the interviews with this ghostwriter, Mr. Biden read from his notebooks nearly verbatim, sometimes for an hour or more at a time. Swanitzer later transcribed the recordings to the interviews. Swanitzer described the process of listening to and transcribing Mr. Biden's reading from his notebook as incredibly painstaking. At times during these interviews, Mr. Biden took steps to ensure that Swanitzer did not read or have access to the classified portions of the notebooks, with one exception of which we are aware, discussed below. Mr. Biden did not let Swanitzer read or handle the notebooks. On multiple occasions, Swanitzer suggested it would be easier if Mr. Biden photocopied the relevant notebook entries and allowed Swanitzer to use the copies, but Mr. Biden declined. According to Swanitzer, Mr. Biden really never let the journals out of his hand and did not let others access them. Mr. Biden disclosed classified information in his notebooks to Swanitzer. Based on our review of the notebooks and recorded interviews, when Mr. Biden could potentially classify material in his notebook entries, he appears to have sometimes stopped at or skipped over the potentially classified material. Swanitzer also recalled Mr. Biden mentioning the need to be careful because he was worried that there was a possibility that some of this stuff, handwritten entries in the notebooks, could be classified. According to Swanitzer, there were things he couldn't tell me, lines he couldn't cross. At other times, however, Mr. Biden read his notes from classified meetings to Swanitzer nearly word for word. Notes of Situation Room meeting during summer of 2015. On February 16, 2017, for example, when Mr. Biden was no longer vice president, he met with Swanitzer at the rental house in Virginia. During this meeting, Mr. Biden read from notes he took during a meeting in the Situation Room in the summer of 2015, which was attended by senior military officials, the CIA director, and others. Mr. Biden appeared to tell Schwanitzer this notebook entry related to a long meeting on the Security Council on it probably was classified. Mr. Biden's meeting notes summarize the actions and views of his military leaders and the CIA director relating to a foreign country and a foreign terrorist organization. Mr. Biden has skipped over this same notebook entry during a previous conversation with Schwanitzer in October of 2016 when Mr. Biden was still vice president. But on February 16, 2017, after he was no longer vice president, Mr. Biden read portions of the same notebook entry aloud and nearly verbatim to Schwanitzer, including portions containing information that remains classified up to the secret level. Though Mr. Biden read these portions of the notebook entry, he also skipped over other portions of the entry. 2 months later, on April 10th, 2017, during another recorded conversation with Schwanitzer, Mr. Biden returned to the same notebook entry detailing the Situation Room meeting from the summer of 2015. Immediately before discussing the notebook entry, Mr. Biden discussed extremely personal notebook entries touching on the illness and death of his son, Beau, its effect on his family, and the wrenching decision about whether to run for president in 2016. After discussing these highly emotional topics, Mr. Biden turned immediately to the notebook entry from the summer 2015 Situation Room meeting, which began on the very next page of the notebook, and read additional portions of the entry nearly verbatim, including the portions of the entry he read to Schwanitzer during the February 16, 2017 meeting. The passages Mr. Biden read to Schwanitzer on April 10th, 2017 contain information that remains classified up to the secret level. Notes of National Security Council meeting in November 2014. In a later recorded conversation with Schwanitzer on April 24th, 2017, Mr. Biden read from a different notebook entry, this time from notes he took during a National Security Council meeting in the Situation Room in November 2014. Mr. Biden read aloud from notes summarizing a range of issues relating to a foreign terrorist organization, including specific activities of the U.S. military and views expressed by the intelligence community, including the Director of National Intelligence and the CIA Director. While reading these notes, Mr. Biden struggled to read his handwriting, and he showed part of the handwritten passage to Schwanitzer. The two then had the following exchange. Mr. Biden, do you have any idea what the hell I'm saying there? Less on the number of what? Isn't that awful? Schwanitzer, something, number, something, quality. I can't. Mr. Biden, some of this may be classified, so be careful. Schwanitzer, okay. Mr. Biden, I'm not sure it isn't marked classified, but Mr. Biden then continued to read nearly verbatim from portions of his notebook on the 2014 Situation Room meeting. Some of the portions that Mr. Biden read to Schwanitzer remains classified at the secret level. More generally, during his dozens of hours of interviews with Schwanitzer, Mr. Biden read from notebook entries related to many classified meetings, including National Security Council meetings, CIA briefings, Department of Defense briefings, and other meetings and briefings with foreign policy officials. I'm going to stop it here and then get another one recorded as soon as I'm done. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all in a minute. Bye.